Okay, so before we continue with our journey in R language, I wanted to introduce you to R Studio. Now, R Studio is very powerful tool that is used by many data scientists and many statisticians to do the analysis. It has lot of features that help you to work with R. It makes the coding much fun and as well as much easier. Now we have seen in our console, okay, we was introduced with the terminal where you can start, entering your commands. The same way, the first time you launch your R Studio, you will see that the console, which is similar to what we have seen in the R console, and then there are some other windows, okay, that is next to it, something called as environment, history connection at the top. Then you see file, plot, package, help viewer as a another option in the second window. Now this makes this R Studio, okay, makes your life easier by putting everything at one place. So, for example, the best feature that R has to offer is the code completion. So, if you don't remember anything, okay, or you remember something, the moment you start writing anything, okay, it will provide you with this different options. So, code completion options, and then you can see from which package the respective command is coming from. Okay, so you remember we said help and then start to launch the helper. Now the same command, if I give it in RStudio, okay, and it will launch the same help, but not in a new browser, but in the RStudio itself. Now it helps you, when you are writing something, okay, and at the same time, if you want to see the what is the help on a particular topic. For example, I want a help on, or maybe on the plot function. Okay, and the moment I enter a hit enter, you can see here it is loaded the help in the next window. So now when I am writing my code, I can just refer to the help in the same window itself, and I don't have to jump into the browser and back to the console simultaneously. Other than this, you can see this file tab that actually locates where your files are stored. Okay, and different files in that location, you can actually change the working directory by clicking on the button at the on the right side. Now you can see the different packages that are available and the one that has been already loaded into the memory. Okay, so you can see here there are so many packages now available in my into my machine, and then I can always just click on this checkbox to load it manually. Okay, or you can just write our favorite code like library and then load a particular package. So for example, now let me load something which is let's say, yeah, let's load ggplot. Okay, now the code completion helped me to exactly write the code, and you can see the checkbox which indicates that the code has the particular package has been loaded into memory. Now, other than this, you can see here something called as a plots. Now, it will help you to show your plot at the same position. The same way you can see here the global environment. So whatever the variables, etc. you create, they are actually stored in a global environment. So example, I just stored a new, create a new variable x, and I put some values into it. So 5, 10, then 3, 15, 10. Okay. Now you can see here whatever the variable I created, it has been stored into global environment, and the R Studio is now giving you the hint what are the different values it has been stored. Now, let's say I wanted to draw a graph using this. So I use a plot function. Okay, we will discuss this in detail, but just for this, see, it's drawing a plot for me, and you can see here it's for each point. Okay, so it's a 5, then the 10, 3, 15, and 10. Okay, it has a draw a graph for me. Okay, with the point, and now I wanted to draw it as a line, so I just enter the same one, and then I have just pressed the control space. Okay, so now it is giving me the different options that I have. So the first option is the values that you wanted to load for the x-axis, then y-axis, and then now I will choose the type. Okay, and let me draw it as uh, a line chart. So I press L. Okay, and press enter. Now the chart has been converted as a line chart. Now this plot is also loaded at the same place. Okay, now you have a option to publish a plot. We will see this in more detail as we grow, as we'll go further in this video series. Now this is just a basic introduction that I wanted to give you with this R Studio. Now you can, if you have worked something and if you wanted to see what are the different commands that you use in the earlier sessions, you can find it in the history tab. Then the connection tab can help you to do the different connections. Okay, now uh, it is possible that as we go ahead, okay, we wanted to store whatever the code that we write. Okay, so we always do this, okay, using the R script. So you click on file and new R script. Okay, and in a one place itself it has been loaded the R script area. So this is my first script that I am going to write. So whatever things you write, yeah, it will be stored. So I create a variable v and put some value 10, and then I create another variable w with value 5, and then I create a, I wanted to do the multiplication and store it into variable z. Okay, and then I can actually save it. Okay, and then whenever I want I can just load it. So let's say whenever you wanted to run a single code, you can always write it the line. Okay, and press control enter. Okay, and the same thing is loaded here. Okay, you can see here in the environment the v variable has been created with value uh, 10, and for a particular line I can just press once again a control enter. Next value is loaded into the console, and so on. Now I can save this into some particular place. So I write it as my first R. Okay, save it, and if you want to just load it, you can load it from here. Okay, source first R, and it has been loaded. Now you can see here the value 50 that has been automatically calculated. So this tool will help you, okay, to write your code much easier way. Okay, it will, if you are a beginner, I strongly recommend you use this tool for learning this R. Now before we close this video, okay, I wanted to show you some settings that I recommend that you do it. So go to the tools, and in global options, okay, you find out the different options that you have. Now you can have a choice to select a different default working directory. Okay, so you can set it some place that you wanted as a common place where you wanted your R files to be stored. So you can save it here. Now by default, when you install the R Studio, okay, it will automatically detect which is the R Studio where is the RStudio installed, and you will find that directory details here. Now, the next thing is that the code I like to put as a tab width at 6 or 8, uh, because it's actually makes your code much easier to read. You can see there are different options that are available. Now, appearance is how your code should look. You have a different themes available here. So the current one is this TextMed, but you are free to use anyone, okay, as per your preference, and you can use it as you like. Now, page layout is a way how this different tabs should available, and which is by default loaded where. So you can have a choice to put it into some other place. You can manually change the place, or you can set it from here. Now, packages are actually from where whenever you give a command to download and install the packages. By default, this use CRAN mirror. Okay, CRAN is actually content delivery or distribution network where we have all these different packages available. Okay, so you don't have to go to different search engine and find out the different places from where you can download respective packages. It is a centralized place where this is loaded. There are multiple CRAN sites are available from the R. Okay, but this is the one that is used by the RStudio, and that has been selected for CRAN mirror. But you can choose anyone that is preferable for you, or location near to you. Now, yeah, there is next thing is about this arc markdown. Okay. So our markdown is actually we will use this when we create some distributable documents, and there we have this choice of creating the R document. So this is settings related to R markdown. Then okay, the Git, if you are install the Git client on your machine, okay, you can provide the Git location here. If you are using the versioning control, different versioning control like SVN, then you can put the SVN location here. Then if you are using the wanted to publish it, your codes, etc., you can actually connect different your accounts here, and then you can just click on publish and you can publish your document. The terminal is the way this terminal to be shown. Okay, so right now it's using the git bash. Okay, before I close, okay, the last thing that I forgot earlier, to remove this checkbox. So by default, when you install, you will find that this checkbox is already marked saying that restore our data into workspace at startup, and just set this save workspace to r data on exit to never. Now, why it is that? Okay, so now we have written some sample code. Okay, and the moment you try to exit, okay, R will store this value into R dot file, and then next time when you start, it will automatically load the values into the environment. This is good if you are working, on a regular basis into the R, and then you want to save it as you progress. But for me, I always find it that okay, creating a new project is, and loading it manually makes much easier. And then whenever you store this into R data file, it consumes a space on your hard disk. So better you remove it, and uh, set this as never. So every time we will have a fresh area to work with. Okay, so let's see more things in next session. Thanks and bye.